Imagine standing beside a calm German lake in the summer of 1900. The air is still, the crowd is quiet, and then, slowly, a gigantic silver shape begins to rise into the sky. People stare in disbelief. Some step back in fear. Others can't look away. Floating above them is something the world has never truly seen before. A massive, steerable flying machine. This was Zeppelin LZ, the first rigid airship ever to fly and the beginning of a revolution in aviation. The man behind this unbelievable machine was Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin, a retired German army officer with a dream that most people thought was impossible. Years earlier, while observing balloon operations during the American Civil War, Zeppelin became fascinated with the idea of controlled flight. Balloons could rise into the sky, but they drifted wherever the wind took them. Zeppelin believed aircraft should be steerable, powered, and engineered like ships of the sky. Many people laughed at him. Experts doubted him. Investors were cautious. But Zeppelin refused to abandon his vision. After years of planning, testing, and fundraising, he finally built LZ, and he did it at the age of 62, proving that ambition doesn't come with an expiration date. What made LZ so different from anything that had flown before was its rigid structure. Earlier airships were basically large balloons that sagged and changed shape. LZ, however, had a lightweight aluminum frame that held its form like the skeleton of a ship. Inside this framework were 17 separate hydrogen gas cells that provided lift. Covering it all was a stretched fabric skin, giving the airship its smooth, cigar-shaped body. It was enormous, stretching about 128 meters, or 420 feet long. LZ was the largest flying machine the world had ever seen. But it wasn't just big, it was controllable. The airship had two Daimler gasoline engines that powered propellers mounted along its sides. For the first time, a lighter-than-air craft could move forward using engine power, rather than just drifting. It also featured steering controls, including rudders to turn left and right, and elevators to climb or descend. There was even a movable weight system to help balance the ship during flight. These innovations made LZ one of the earliest true aircraft, not just a balloon, but a vehicle of the sky. Zeppelin chose a smart location for his test flights, Lake Constance in southern Germany. The airship was kept inside a floating hangar on the lake. This allowed the structure to be turned into the wind before takeoff, which was crucial for stability. The lake also provided a safer environment in case something went wrong, since landing on water was less dangerous than crashing on land. Then came the historic day, July 2nd, 1900. Crowds gathered along the shoreline to witness what many believed would be either a miracle or a disaster. Slowly, LZ lifted off the floating platform and rose into the air. Gasps spread through the crowd as the giant airship moved forward, powered by its engines. The flight lasted about 18 minutes, covering nearly 6 kilometers, and reaching an altitude of roughly 400 meters, or 1,300 feet. It wasn't a flawless journey. Steering was difficult, and the structure experienced stress. Later tests revealed mechanical issues. But none of that could erase what had just happened. Humanity had seen the first successful flight of a rigid, powered airship. Despite this breakthrough, LZ was not an immediate commercial success. Investors were disappointed by its limitations, and funding soon dried up. Eventually, the airship had to be dismantled. For many inventors, this would have marked the end of the dream. But Count Zeppelin refused to quit. He improved the design and built new airships, LZ, LZ3, and others, each one more reliable than the last. Over time, Zeppelins would be used for military scouting, scientific exploration, and even passenger travel. These giant airships would cross countries and oceans, capturing the imagination of the world. Even though LZ itself had a short life, Its impact was enormous. It proved that large, steerable airships were possible. It laid the foundation for the famous Zeppelins that would dominate the skies in the early 20th century. From that quiet lake in Germany, a new chapter of aviation history had begun. The age of drifting balloons was ending. The age of engineered flight had arrived. Epilogue: The Ghost on the Lake. The LZ-1 itself is gone, but its spirit endures. A full-scale walk-through replica can be visited at the Zeppelin Museum in Friedrichshafen, Germany, allowing modern audiences to stand inside the ribcage of this aerial pioneer. Its first flight on July 2, 1900, marked the true dawn of the rigid airship age. It was a moment of pure, defiant vision, a moment when Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin, against all odds, made the world look up and see the future, floating silently over the peaceful waters of Lake Constance.